Hello, IG and Facebook. Hello. I am starting out today by thanking our teachers that are going to be embarking on this upcoming school year. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for the work that you will be doing for the 2022-2023 school year. I am Julia B., CEO and founder of Jfinity Health and Wellness, and I support teachers. I help educators. And so I just wanted to take some time out on this fabulous, wonderful Sunday because the weather is definitely working in my favor. So I think I'm going to go out for a walk after this. But I just wanted to take some time and just go a little bit deeper into who I am and what I provide and why I provide the services I do for teachers. And I will definitely be providing, additional services, and you'll hear more about that. But I just really wanted to take the time out and say to our teachers, if you have a friend that's a teacher, if you live next door to a teacher, when you drop off your kids and you're able to see the teacher that's going to be with them this school year, whether you have started already because you're down south, or we're up north and we're waiting for after Labor Day, start the school year off by thanking them. Thank them for the work that they're about to embark on this school year, because I've said it before, this school year is not going to be any easier than the school years we have had during the pandemic, or I think this is post-pandemic, but I don't have the eras correct right about now, so I'm not 100% sure. So I wanted to just take a moment and say thank you. And here's why. Because teachers are the backbone of our communities and our societies. Think about it. There is not a single career field that comes out of nowhere. Everyone has to learn, has to be taught, especially those core content areas. And then you're taught either through after school clubs or through elective classes, whatever it is. When you start out, and now it's younger than ever, I believe you can start out at the age of 3, I don't know, maybe 2. But you need teachers. Teachers are the ones that are instilling the education and the moral and the ethical values in our kids. Teachers are the ones many times they're in the classroom, but they're still social workers, they're still counselors, they're still, drying tears, they're still listening to whatever challenges that are not even academic. So you are filling a gamut of needs, and I just want you to take a moment and give yourself a pat on the back for the work that you have done and the work that you're about to embark on. And so I come to you today and I ask you teachers, I ask you educators, do not, please, for yourself, for your health and wellness, do not pour from an empty cup this school year. Take the time out to do the things that you need to do for yourself. Do not pour from an empty cup this school year. I've endured stress, and this may sound crazy, but I've endured stress since the age of 4. And it was more of a learned stress as opposed to anything else. My mom was super high strung and stayed in stress mode. So at the age of 4, it was a learned behavior. By the age of 16, moving from an 85 square mile to a big city, I was homeless within a few months. And yes, those were choices made by my mother, not by myself, by just high strung, how stressed she was. And she did the best. I love my mom. She did the best that she could do as a mom. But I grew up learning about stress from her. So, by age 22, I was married in an abusive relationship, created my own stress. Beautiful baby girl, however, because there's a silver lining in every situation. But understanding that I was about to pass on that to her as well, as I became super ambitious and kept going to school and working full time, and just doing those things with, and having a toddler. And so one of the things I need you to understand is, one, we can pass this on. But then two, after my years in medicine, I moved into education. I did 2 years in the private sector. I did 23 years in the public sector. And so one of the things that became was, I gave my all to my students. I gave my all to my scholars. And I poured from an empty cup. For years, I kept pouring from an empty cup. So let me tell you what happens when you have already grown up in stress, and then you keep that behavior pattern going, and then you end up yourself giving so much of yourself to your colleagues and your students that you pour from an empty cup. Then you meet that ever so common word in today's society called stress. Stress. I've been diagnosed so much with stress. I don't even understand how doctors get paid for that diagnosis, but then they attach something to it. So here were some side effects in the middle of my career from pouring from an empty cup of stress. An incurable autoimmune disease. Inflammation happening everywhere. Total, complete, utter inflammation. Migraines, and weight gain, just to name a few. Okay, so that came from now halfway into my career, loving it, absolutely loved it. However, never stopped and took the time that I needed to make sure that my personal life got as much attention as my professional life. And so I ask you, educators, please do not pour from an empty cup. I took my stress level. I took my diagnoses that I've been diagnosed. All of those things that I mentioned to you were all diagnoses, but they all started from stress. And I took it into administration. And whoo, that's where I really compounded it. Because then I invited back an old friend. This was an old friend from high school. I invited back this old friend called emotional eating. And what I would do is just like keep food items in my car, and like give myself little snacks on the way home. And I told myself in my mind, these are like rewards. Like, I worked hard all day long. I just put like a 12-hour shift, and I'm just like snacking, and it's just mindless eating. That's really what it was. It was just mindless eating. I wasn't hungry. It was mindless eating. Or if I was hungry, I was definitely not eating the right foods at that point in time. So it was mindless eating, and I was just snacking on all the things that I could get my hands on. And so I kept it in my car, and I told myself, I'm going to keep it in here in case I'm stuck in traffic. I was stuck in traffic every day after work. No, I wasn't. I wasn't stuck in traffic. I was 20 minutes away from home to work. However, it was available. And that was an old habit that I had in high school when I dealt with my situation of being homeless and just other family challenges I was going through that had subsided for some time, but then came back into my life again. So you're talking about the diagnosis, you're talking about the stress, and you are talking about my emotional eating. All of this led to the ever famous burnout. That's the other one. Burnout. Now, today, I tell you, I am in a fabulous place. And all of the things that I have gone through, whether you call them negative or positive experiences, they were experiences, and they made me stronger. And in all honesty, they got me through a lot of that strength, and that endurance got me through a lot of the challenges in my life. However, do we really need to multitask on the level that I used to multitask on? No. Do we really need to give our personal life as much, if not more, attention than our professional life? Yes. And so why am I here? Why am I sharing this information with you? I'm sharing this information with you because I want to be able to help, and I want to be able to support teachers. I want to be able to help you through longevity, but not the kind of longevity that you're doing. And not the one where you're like, thank God it's hump day. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God for that break that's coming up. There's a vacation. When is it? Not that. That's not enjoying your profession. That's not going through every single day loving what you're doing. Being a teacher is by far the best service career on the planet. I don't think that God created a serving role more, I don't even know how to say it, just more honorable. You get to steward the lives of young adults. I think that's absolutely amazing. But I don't believe it was ever made to be at the sacrifice of your own health and your own wellness and your own life and your own family and your own personal well-being. I don't think that's what it was meant for. And so for years I got it wrong. However, with many of the trainings and just experiences that I've had and changes that I've made in my life, there's a much better way and a much more enjoyable way to be able to thrive through education and not just survive. I'm tired of a survival kit and a survival guide. No, you can actually thrive through the profession. And I wish that someone shared these things with me before, but I had to learn them on my own. And so what I want to do is now prevent you from having to have the diagnosis, to be at those stress points, to be at the burnout point. I want to help you stop those things from happening and have longevity and enjoy what you're doing and not living for Fridays and vacations. And so one of the things I help you do is I help you create a blueprint. I help you create a blueprint for your life, for your personal and your professional lifestyle. And I do this through 5 principles. And the 5 principles is your purpose as a teacher. How are you truly planning? What does planning really look like? Not Sunday night or Monday morning on your way to work as you rush in and try to make those copies. I'm not talking about that kind of planning. Been there, done that. It's awful. It's just stressful. And you don't give your best in those situations. What is your planning and preparation? So your purpose, your planning, your preparation, and who are you personally and who are you professionally? And so those are the things that I do to support you. Hi, how are you? Thanks for joining. So those are the things that I do to be able to support you as teachers. Because the idea is that I'm doing great. Thank you. The idea is that you can have longevity in the career field as a teacher, but you can't have it with stress and burnout and just sitting down waiting for your time to tick until you get to retirement. Because either you'll give up before you get to retirement, that's one, or you'll get to retirement, and one of the things that I'm seeing way too often nowadays, and I had a very heartbreaking one that happened this year because he was so close to me, is that he got to retirement but didn't get to enjoy it because he passed away too soon. And so one of the things I ask you is, yes, it is the best profession. It is the best service. It is honorable to serve. It is honorable to teach. But let's do it in a way where you're sustained through it, where you enjoy it, where you're loving what you're doing every single day. That's what I'm talking about. A way in which you can, like they say, have your cake and eat it too. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you are interested in the 5 principles of being a successful teacher, go ahead and go to my website, jfinityhealth.com. It's in my bio, jfinityhealth.com, and just fill out a contact form. And I won't even do 15 minutes. I'm doing 45 minutes right now for teachers. I'm doing 45 minutes right now of consultation for teachers. I'm also going to be doing a boot camp. I'm going to be doing a 5 days boot camp in September to help you set up and navigate through your school year. So look forward to that coming, and do that for yourself. If you do nothing else so that you can be able to set up your school year, do that for yourself. That's a service for you. Again, this is about having longevity in your career field. And what I do as a health coach, as a holistic health coach, is we look at your personal and your professional. So everything from your classroom management to your nutrition. I am here to help you create your individual. There's no cookie cutter model. I'm here to help you create your individual blueprint for all of it, so that you can stop living for Fridays and vacations. Stop pouring from an empty cup and have longevity in your career field. So that's what this is about. So go ahead and go to jfinityhealth.com. You can fill out that contact form. When it says, who did you hear from, just put my name, Julia Bally, and you'll get 45 minutes of a consultation as opposed to my usual 15. And again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your service that you are about to give this school year before it even starts for the 2022-2023 school year. I just want to take the time out to say thank you. And for those of you who know a teacher next door, a friend, or when you drop your kids off, or if you've dropped your kids off already and you haven't said thank you, double back and just appreciate and say thank you. Because again, we are the backbones of our communities and society. And for that, I say thank you for your endurance. Thank you for your tenacity. Thank you for your resilience. Thank you for your compassion that you have with young adults. Have a blessed and wonderful school year. Bye-bye.